Hello. Welcome. I didn't rehearse this, so I'm just going to do it in one take. Welcome back. My name's Cooper. I've decided to start this channel because, as I said last video, I'm an MFA Arts Practice grad student at Stanford University. And as you can see, I specialize in painting. Specifically, I'm an acrylic figurative painter. And the more research I do, the more I'm finding that the traditional channels for artists to make a life for themselves, and what I mean is navigating the relationship between art and commerce, is fraught with peril and stress. And the traditional models that I see are the gallery system and teaching. In the world that I live in, we have a very crowded field of lots of talented and creative people, and still only a few traditional portals with which to share their work. The goal of this channel, then, is an opportunity for me to share the work in a way where I have more agency and control in my capacity to share my artwork, how I make the artwork, and the knowledge about everything I've learned along the way to get here. So the point of this channel is to share with you my journey, to document my experience as an artist who lives with visual disability in the form of an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. You can try to write that down here. It's probably appearing right here. And to share the technical skills that I've developed, to share the knowledge that I have gained to interview folks that I see as colleagues, to go to museums with and for you. So that's why I've turned on the video camera, so to speak. We're going to have a little adventure here, you and me, about what an artist's life can be and what an artist's life is like in the 21st century. So I'm glad you're here. So what is an artist? An artist is someone who makes things. So today we're going to make a honkin' painting. Let's go. Ooh, yeah, feels good at scale. So now that we knocked that out in one day, I want to now take a moment to talk about students. I'm thinking primarily for middle school, high school, and college art students. What I want to do with this channel is share resources for you because you're a few steps behind where I am. And that's really all it takes to have a teacher to be useful to you. Have someone that's gone a little further down the path and is able to pull you along. Because my goal and dream for all of you is that you can go much further, much faster than I have gone, instead of having to slog it out and figure it out as I go. Having the right mentor, the right teacher can really make or break your experience. It can make all the difference. So that's one of the main goals of the channel. With this idea, with this painting project, I want to talk about why scale matters in your artwork, and also about this idea of iterations, about iterating on an idea, about finding the best version of an idea, because you don't always get there the first time. And in fact, a lot of the time you should challenge the first version of your idea by making multiple versions and pushing the idea in multiple forms to see which one is the best vehicle for your idea. So for example, my parents had 4 children before they got to me, before they got to the perfect child. It took 5 tries to get it right. And then they had the audacity to have 3 more children. Anyways, scale. Originally, this was 2 separate artworks. So this self-portrait of me in my A's hat, which you can see here, was a little guy, a little Sharpie drawing I had done when I was visiting my brother last summer. And separately, I made this painting, and also I got stuck on that painting because first it looked like this was the reference photo, then it looked like this, and then it looked like that, and I got stuck. So I made another version, simpler, quicker, with Sharpie. I like Sharpie because you have to be bold. You can't go back. If you make a mistake with Sharpie, whoops, can't erase. So for a while I had this little drawing pad where I could make all these little ideas, and of course I've filled it over time whenever I have downtime. But I made this version of the idea, just a really simple red on blue version of it. And so what I decided to do is superimpose this onto what I had. So I took the drawing and I took the painting, I smushed them together in a little drawing application called Procreate, which if you are an art student and you have access to a digital drawing stylus and pad, I absolutely recommend you get Procreate. Not sponsored, but it's just one of the best digital sketchbook type tools you could have in terms of saving a lot of paint and iterating on ideas until you find the one that really sings. With this painting, I took in a version of that painting, put it in there, and then blew up this other version of this drawing and forced them into the same space. And I also brought in a giant of art history. Is first of all the artist Pablo Picasso. It's identifiable style immediately. And the other thing is the motif, which is a recurring visual icon of the mother and child, the Madonna, right? This idea of the lamentation of losing that which is most important to you, which is your child. So this piece is called Survey Course because I wanted to put this idea of when you're entering your education and that art journey, you always find yourself in a survey course where you get the basics, right? So I wanted this to be an at-a-glance painting of my personal relationship to this cold academic environment of what has been established, but also bringing in my own creative style and putting my visual language in conversation with the old masters. And I even have a post-it note Doric column to prove it. So that's how this painting came to be. And I wanted to share with you what scale can really do to have larger than life versions of your figures, of your ideas. On the other end though, the smaller devotional scale can often be the right size for the work, for the idea that you have. So when you're thinking about an idea that you want to make into a finished art piece, it's important to make different versions and think about what's the right scale for your work, right? And it might take a little while to get there, but it's important to find out. To learn by doing is the best thing you can do. So that's my spiel about why iteration matters and why scale matters, because being able to push your ideas into new areas is an important tool for making sure you have a resolved, finished, crystallized version of your idea. And when you get stuck in the middle of a painting, like I did with the angel painting, you can use a different part of your practice to knock new ideas loose, right? By pushing the idea into a new realm, and sometimes abandoning the first idea in service of that second idea, or smushing them together. So this idea of that artists have this divine inspiration you get the first time is a fallacy. It just takes practice. So that's all for this week. Tune in next time.